Hey guys, if you are here looking for the bottom part for In Christ Alone, then you are in the right place. If you're looking for the top part for that same song, you can look in the description box and I'll have it linked there. So with this one, and everybody's not going to feel the same way about this or do this the same way, but for me, because the bottom part is a pretty low part no matter what key you do it in, minus maybe a few keys, I actually like to do the bottom part as more of a dip in and out harmony. So like, you're not going to sing exactly the same time frame as how the high part does, just to give it a little bit of variation. So I actually think that the beginning of the verses is too low and muddy for the bottom part to be in. And so I actually think that you should come in for the second half of the verses and then for the bridges and that refrain, the oh, oh, oh refrain. I'll show you what I mean. So all of this I would stay out for the bottom part. I would come in here, and as he stands in victory, since curse has lost his grip on me. I would cut back out here actually. This gives it a little bit of a dynamic shift, and you can come in here at the O's. And cut back out because it cuts back down to more of like a chill vibe, and so this gives it a little bit of dynamic variation. This is not something that I do very often, but when it happens, it's nice. So let the top part handle this, and you'll come back in at no power of hell. No power of hell, no scheme of man can ever pluck me from his hand. Then I actually would cut back out here. I know it's different, just trust me. Come back in here. I find my strength, I find my hope, I find my help in Christ alone. When fear assails, when darkness falls, I find my peace in Christ alone. I give my life, I give my all, I sing my soul to Christ alone, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. All hail and sings to Christ alone, Christ alone, alone. And then it breaks down, it does a long kind of instrumental, and then it goes back into verse 4. I am going to cut out at this point because I don't think, even if your worship leader does have you singing on this part, I don't feel like you should do a bottom harmony because I feel like it's too low, especially in this key. So at this point, I would say either cut out or end up just singing more of a gang vocal with the congregation and double your worship leader with melody. So I want to unpack a little bit of why I did it like this, because I know if you've been with me for a while or been on my channel following for a while, you probably have not really heard me do a song like this where I feel like the bottom harmony or one of the harmonies is coming in and out in that way. But this is very different. Like it's I've always done it this way at my church. I've always like thought about it this way. Like if I'm doing the bottom part, I kind of come in and out because it gives it a little bit of dynamic flair, especially because this song is like very hymn style, but then has a little flair of like contemporary with the bridge. And so it's like a conglomeration of old and new coming together. And so what I find is it can be very monotonous, like because you're doing verse after verse after verse with no choruses to break it up. And the O's, that refrain section or interlude, whatever you want to call it, it's as close as you get to a chorus. And so what I find is, especially when it's low parts like this in this key, this is a male key. And so if you're doing the bottom part, if you tried to come in at the beginning of the verses, it would be pretty much like, it would be like, till he returns. Like it would be so low and muddy. And even myself, I feel like doing it wouldn't serve the purpose of like being able to teach you guys the part. I feel like you would just end up being like, why did she bother doing that? And I find that if I heard that in the crowd, I would probably tell my bottom harmonist to not sing that part and just come in the second half of each verse and then come back out to give a little taste of something new. It kind of shakes up the chord structure a little bit, shakes up what's happening dynamically, vocally, and then you come back out. And then you give another taste at the O's, and then you give another taste at the bridge. So it just gives a little bit of vocal color and dynamic, and I love when when you have the chance to do that with songs, and it's not as cookie cutter as some of the other things that I have on my channel in terms of structurally. Because a lot of times songs I'm teaching, the soprano or the top and bottom parts are identical in terms of when they come in and when they come out. But then there are times where the bottom part is in for more of the song than the top part is. And then there are other times when the top part is in for more of the song than the bottom part is. And this just happens to be one, in my personal opinion, where the bottom part should just kind of be a very nice additive, like here and there, but not as much of a feature as it would be on some of the other songs that I've taught. So hopefully that all makes sense. Feel free to ask questions in the comments below and I'll clarify if I can. But that is it for this week. I'll see you guys in the next one.